Good morning everyone, it's isolation along day 10. How has it got to day 10? I don't know, it just seems to have absolutely flown by. Today is the disappearing 9 patch, but we're going to do it 4 different ways. So hopefully that will give you some inspiration if you've done the disappearing 9 patch before. It's a lovely simple block. But we're going to do it 4 ways. I'll show you 4 ways. We're going to put one on the quilt, one way on the quilt, which I'll give you the measurements for, and then the other ways I'm just going to show you, so you can take them onto other projects and things like that. So, oh gracious me! I tell you what, it was hit or miss whether I was going to be on time this morning. Good morning, Leslie. Time just got away from me. I don't know. Really, I did have a lazy start to the day. I was sort of pottering about. Morning, Doreen. Hi, Sam. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Chris. Lovely to see you all. Morning, Angela. Oh, thank you very much. Leopard print this morning. This is helping me as well, these lives, because I'm actually getting up, putting a little bit of makeup on, and I'm putting, you know, as I said the other day, I'm getting vaguely scruffier as the days go on, but it's making me sort of get up properly. So that's good. I think that does a lot for your mental health, is get ready for the day, even though you're not actually going anywhere. Getting ready for the day is quite important. Good morning, Hayley. Good morning, Lynn. Hi, Kay. Oh, posh, yeah, posh. Posh. I feel a bit fancy this morning. Hi, Joe. Hi, Carol. It is so lovely, isn't it? Hi, Susan. Really lovely day. Right, so it's the disappearing 9 patch. Really, really, really easy, okay? We'll have this done like this. So that's why I'm doing it 4 ways, so I can show you 4 different ways of putting this patch together. The first way is the way I'm going to put it in my quilt. So that's what you've got the measurements for. The other ways are, post office run today, yes. The other ways are other versions that you can do. Alison, catching you live all out from home. Brilliant. Now, I know that I said from the beginning, no advertising, no selling, no mentioning of anything. However, I'm going to break the rule for 30 seconds because I've had a lot of people ask me about the pressing mat that I'm using throughout the lives. We have got them in stock at the moment. I'm going to the post office today. I'm going to go once a week. So I'm going today. So if you manage to order before 1 o'clock, I'll send it first class. So hopefully you'll either get it tomorrow, or depending how the Royal Mail are working, it'll be, you know, when they deliver in your area. Avidcrafts.com. It's the 12 by 12 and it's a reduced price, £21.50. So it's a bargain and it's really handy. So I'm sorry I broke the rule there, but I've had a lot of questions about it. So, right, enough of that. Just have a sip. Trying to, a bit of a headache this morning, so I'm trying to keep my water levels up. Right, so 9 patch. So it's 4.5-inch squares, and it's one in one colour. That'll need a press. 4 in another colour, and 4 in another colour. Angela, you should have been having your hair done this morning. It's going to now have to stay that way. I think we're all, my greys are all coming through. We're all going to be ombre, aren't we, by the end of this? We're all going to be ombre. Right, let's get the iron on so I can press these blocks before we start. I've made up some already so that I can show you the different ways. So that'll save a bit of time. We don't want to just watch me stitching 9 squares together over and over and over. Right, clear up, clear up. Right, good morning, Shirley. Okay, so 9 patches. Disappearing 9 patch. Now, of course, you can have this just as 9 patches, but then when you cut into it and turn it, it becomes the disappearing 9 patch. So I'm going to poke you down, show you the first one, and then we'll move on to the other techniques. So we're spreading this. We don't want to be we don't want 10-minute live, do we? What's the point in that? So I'll point you down, and I'll try and keep an eye on the comments. Oop, there we are. Every time I make that noise. Oop. Right, I'm just going to press my squares like so. Make sure they're If you start off with a good foundation, good start, then your blocks will look a lot nicer when you're done. So I've chosen these colours, and I've gone for the pink in the centre because, as you know, I'm running low on the pink. So I thought if I do the centre one, it will give it a nice pop, and it's only a 4.5 inch square. So, right. Lay these out in a 9. So I'm going to do the pink in the centre for my contrast, 4 in the corners, and then 4 to the side. Just bear with me, I can hear voices outside. Just looks like it's a delivery for somebody. Right, so we're gonna stitch row 1 together, then row 2, then row 3, and then stitch all 3 rows together. Okay, really, really straightforward so far. Really easy, and you could just have your block like that if you wanted to, just a simple 9 patch. But we'll stitch it together, press it nicely, and then we'll cut into it. I'm probably gonna get my big ruler for this, which is down here. Right, so starting off with piece 1 and 2, 2 over to 1. Everything again is 1/4 inch as per usual. And stitch. Oh, it's a bit keen there. Now, we don't chain piece these. I mean, you can do if you want to. You could chain piece the whole thing, but I like to keep it in its rows. So I'll do 2 and then I'll do the 3rd one. And I'll press them all at the end. Good morning, Christine. Good morning, Susie. Hi, Robbie. Nice to see you. What time is it there? 5, 6? Right, I'm stitching row 2 together. So for our patches, these are 9.5 inch squares. No, they're not. They're 4.5 inch squares. Goodness, that would be massive. 4.5 inch squares. Goodness, where did I get 9.5 from? That's a worry, isn't it? That is a worry. Right, next, last row. Here we go. Pub quiz tonight, everyone. 7:30 on my page. Pub quiz. Friday night pub quiz. Okay. See how quickly this whizzes together. This is why we're going to do different versions, because it's so quick. But again, if someone says to you, oh, it's something that's happening, could you whip me up a quick lap quilt or something? Disappearing 9 patch is a really good one to do. Right, let's give these a press. Move my small ruler. So lay them out how you're going to place them, and if you remember, when we have 9 patches, so however we've made 9 patches up, we want the seams of the top and bottom to go out and the seams to go in on the centre. So for this one, I'm going to press this so my seams go out. Okay, flip it over and press. With the centre one, we're going to press those seams in. So if you just hold the end of the fabric and pull it ever so slightly, you'll get tension on that seam. And then repeat on the other side. So those ones in, flip it over, make sure they're flush and press. And then these two, this one, sorry, you're having your seams out. That just means when you put it all together, those seams nest nicely together, and it just gives a nice finish to your block. So flip that over, press and press. Okay, how are we all doing in there? A little after 6. Oh, yeah, nearly got it right. Right, so stitching row 1 and 2 together, right sides together. See, when you nest up your seams now, you've got one going one way, one going the other way, and that's exactly what you want. So line up your blocks. I always put it to the machine, put the needle in, and then I realign it just to make sure. Stitch. And then align the next one. Just keep that to the end. And we've got this so far. Yeah, and then we're taking the next one, row number 3, and stitching it together. Foot down, needle in, and then adjust. Adjust it again. And the final. Okie dokie. So let's press that open. Gorgeous. Gorgeous colours, gorgeous colours. So I didn't really follow my own advice with the seams there, I just went for it. But I'll show you one that's that I concentrated on. Oh dear. So if you can see this one, it's nested in really nicely. The other ones I wasn't obviously concentrating. So give that whole thing a nice press. Everything where it should be. Okay. I also will now trim this block up so that we're starting with a completely square foundation. So if you've got any areas that you pulled, each block now will be 4 1/4 inches because you've used a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So anything that's overhanging, just give that a little trim. Yep. Just turn it around. Should all be relatively accurate. This one I've got a little bit skew on. Okay, last side. And 1 1/4. Okay. Just get rid of those threads. Don't like those threads. Right, how are we getting on? Hi, Lizzie Ann. Hi, Susan. Yeah, exactly, Leslie. I completely agree. So easy, but so impressive, completely. Right, so disappearing 9 patch. What we're going to do now is we're going to cut the block completely in half. And then we're going to cut it completely in half the other way. So, your block, oh, for goodness sake, my sewing machine's in the way. Your block will now measure 12 3/4. Now, you're welcome to do the math, 6 1/4. That's right, isn't it? 6 1/4? No. No, it's not. Whatever that is in half. Or you can, your block is 4 1/4. Well, the centre block is 4 because you've got 2 seams either side. So these side blocks, they're 4 1/4 because they don't have an extra seam. But this centre is 4 inches because you've got a seam this side, a seam this side. So you've taken 1/4 inch here, you've taken 1/4 inch here, and you've got 4. So if you simply take your ruler and measure 2 inches, that's where you're going to cut. Okay, so cut that. Eek! If you've got a rotating cutting mat, you can turn it round. If not, just pick the pieces up and turn it round so that is now horizontal. And then you're going to do the same again, another cut. So using this patch line, so that's on my left-hand side. If you're left-handed, it'll be the other side. Lining up the 2 inch line on your ruler and cutting. Okay. Oh, y'all. Yeah, we're okay. So now all you do is you turn your pieces round. So you can have them in whatever order you like. So you can have it like this. Hopefully you can see that. So I've got a square, square, 2 centre squares. You can turn it round so you've got a full patch in the centre of the same colour and you've got small squares either side. I prefer it like this. So so remember, this is back to front. So this is my top left, this is my bottom right, and I've got a small square there. Yeah, and I've got 2 squares in the centre. That's how I prefer it. For me, for this quilt, that's how I prefer it. So this is technique number 1. So we're going to stitch this together so our block for the quilt is done. And then we'll move on to the other way. All right? Hope that makes sense. So just moving this over out of the way so I can bring my machine in. And I'm going to stitch number 1 and 2 together. The best thing about this is there's no seams to line up because it's all random. So stitch. One and 2. Put that on to the side. 3 and 4. Line it up before you stitch, Abigail, please. Thank you. I can't be the only one that talks to myself. Okay. And then opening that one up, I'm just going to finger press this. Finger press this one. Oh, hi, Mum. How are you? Top over to bottom. And then just make sure you're lining up that centre cross. Right, line up that centre cross. Okay. Throw my stuff around now. So now this is the block for the quilt, and then we'll move on to the next 3 techniques. So this is your finished block that you're going to have for the quilt. Just giving that a nice press. Okay, so you can see how quick that comes together. I'll show you that. Yeah. So that's the one for the quilt. So we can add that to our pile. And then we're going to move on to the next one. So the next technique, you have to excuse my randomness of colour choices, but it's what I had to hand. Just give this one a press. So all the time, starting with the 9 patch. Okay, that's a bit better. Making me feel nice and spring-like, I have to say. I shan't bother trimming this one because it's not overly important that this one comes out accurately, because I'm just showing you, different versions. Do you have a book with them all in? No. Wish I did. Boris is positive coronavirus. Oh no. Oh dear me. Right, so we're cutting it again the same way. So the 2 inches one way and the 2 inches the other way. Okay, so we've cut that, and then we're going to place exactly how we've done the last block. All right. Yeah, got it? Actually, no. See, this block, this would work better with lots of different colours, this block. So this version I'm about to show you, it's not going to be overly impressive with this version, but we'll do it anyway so you can see what I'm on about. So stitch those together so you've got the same as you've already made up. Okay, so make it up again. If you do this version with 9 different colours, it looks outstanding. It's not going to look overly amazing with just these colours, but you'll get the technique, you'll get the gist of what I'm showing you. So same block again that you've already made. Finger press those blocks again, and then top to bottom. So exactly what we've already done, and then we'll change it. So stitch, make sure that centre is the bit that's lined up, that's the most important bit. And so please bear in mind that when I said this works better with more colours, and you'll see why in a second. So let's press this open. Press it open, press it open. Press it open, press it open. So you've got the same block again. So now, I'll use my smaller ruler for this. You are going to cut the corners. So from the edge of you've got 4 patches, yeah? So diagonally across from the top to the bottom, you're going to cut that corner off. Oh, I've hit my head on the light again. You'd think I'd know it was there. So cut that corner. 1. Cut this corner. 2. And again, if you've got a rotating mat, use it if you want to. Cut this corner. Be careful that you're not going over the seam. And then cut this corner like this. Okay, so now you're going to change round where your corners were. So this was obviously here. So see, this is what I mean about the fact that it's better when you've got different colours, but we'll just go with whatever we've got. So we've got that one there, we'll change that one to there, and we'll change this one to there. Okay, so you've got another version. It's very addictive. How much fabric we need for each colour, please, through the whole blocks? I'll be honest with you, I don't, only because this was such an off-the-cuff thing that I did. I would say conservatively 1/2 metre of each, maybe 3/4 of a metre. Right, I'm now going to just sew on my corners. So bear in mind, this is going to take your block smaller than the one we want for the quilt. This is why, this is just a technique to show you different ways. The one that is going on the quilt is the first one. But this is just another way. So stitch those corners on. Make sure your seams are down. Oopsies. Okay, that's number 1. Finger press. Number 2. So anytime you cut into this and stitch, you're going to be making it smaller each time. Number 2. Stitch. Open that one up. Next one. I like this version. I have to say I do like this version. If you can get hold of it, that is. Right. Stitch again. Oh, I didn't catch that bit of fabric there. Pop it back to where it was. Okay, line that up. Got a lot of threads this morning. I've not been very good at trimming them off, have I? Practice what you preach. Okay, so who's joining us for the pub quiz tonight? Let me know. Okay, how are we getting on with that? Yeah, we like this one. And then the final side. This is more like a crazy patchwork. And I'm all about stuff that's not conforming. Okay. So you'll need to trim this block because you're going to have some edges that aren't quite, you know, they don't quite meet, because that's the way it's going to be. So trim, iron out those sides. Iron out those sides. Now, of course, you can trim this or you can use those extra edges in your seam allowance, up to you. So that's the second version. Yeah, as I say, it does look better when there's loads of colours. So you wouldn't have a block colour next to a block colour if you use 9 colours. Next one, taking this patch, I'm going to trim this one because I went so random with this size block at the corner here. I don't quite know what I was up to there. I'll just trim this one to size. How are you all getting on? You'll be there. We're in and would like to bring in Andy's girlfriend and family who are in Brighton. Oh, of course, absolutely. But do they know what he can be like if he loses? Yes, bring in anyone you want. Right, I'm just going to trim. That's not ideal. Don't know what I've done to there. Right, I'm going to, that we've got one 9 patch. Yeah, got one 9 patch. Flatten it out. Right, we're going to take 2 inches off this side, 2 inches off this side. I'm just going to bring in my bigger ruler again. So 2 inches off one side, like so. 2 inches off the other side. I'm going to flip that because it won't be, if you start from the outer edge, that's where you want your 2 inches. From the outer edge, measure outer edge. 2 inches. And then you want to take 2 inches off the top and bottom. So keep that fabric on the left-hand side if you're right-handed. 2 inches. And then 2 inches. Like so. Right, put all that to one side, and I didn't have time to make up the last block, so I'll just do that quickly. So you want another, just remember, put that to one side and make up another 9 patch. You want this last 9 patch to be in different colours to the 9 patch you've just made up. Hope that makes sense. So I'm going to just lay these out. And it doesn't have to be a centrepiece that's different to all the rest. It can be it can be like this. It can be 3 of each colour if you want, 9 of each colour. So lay that out. Oop. That'll do me. Like so. Are we all... Yes, and she still loves him. Groovy colours. Right, I'm just going to stitch these together. Okay. So 9 patch, so quick and simple. Strip 1. Strip 2. Strip 3. This is some dodgy stitching going on here. Also, my public service announcement today is the supermarket seem to be releasing slots at around 7 o'clock in the morning each day. So today I logged on at 7 o'clock and they had a full week's worth of slots. So I managed to get a delivery slot for tomorrow, which is just insane. So I recommend logging on to each one at 7 o'clock in the morning. That seems to be the time. Okay. And I'm not going to waste time and press these out. I'm just going to stitch them. Mum's bringing her John to the pub quiz. Good, good, good. I'll try not to put any Norwich questions in there because that would be unfair. He would definitely get all the answers. Yeah, bring your other halves and get them to mark your papers. Swap papers, mark each other's, or mark your own. I'll be, Lily will be playing along and she'll be marking her own. Okay. Nearly done, nearly done. Oh, I've lined this up all wrong, this strip. That's a bit annoying, isn't it? Look, I put the blue next to the blue. Get the seam ripper. Get the seam ripper. Honestly. Just undo that one. Right, let's make sure. Right, there we are, that's the right way round. But you're all thinking, oh, you've done it wrong. Oh, my battery's running out, I have to get your charger. Quick, get your charger. Get your charger, quick. Chargers are like gold dust in our house. Five people, all got mobiles. Right, as we were. So I'm going to press this open. Press it open. Bright colours, bright colours. A little bit of a fold there, so just press that open. Ish. Right, you're going to cut it the same way as you cut the one before. Okay, so, oh, I've thrown my precious block away, quick. So 2 inches off either side. 1. Make sure you then turn it so you've got it to your left if you're right-handed. 2 inches. And then 2 inches from the top and bottom. Ooh. 2 inches. This one isn't quite straight, so I'll just straighten that off a fraction. 2 inches. Turn it. And 2 inches. Okay, so we're now going to switch the strips round. So using this one, I'm now going to use the strips from the other block. So top and bottom. Where's my bottom piece gone here? Top and bottom. Side and side. Side and side. Okay, so that's our next block. Lovely block, lovely colours, completely crackers, but I love it. So you're going to stitch your top piece to your main piece, then your bottom piece to your main piece, side piece, then side piece, all right? So starting at the top. My machine's on something. What's it on? Quick unpick. Okay, just make sure those seams are lined up as best you can. So that's top, and then the bottom one. Susan, yeah, I have to say I'm the same. I try and keep one plugged in next to my bed, but it gets taken often. And then when I get to bed to charge my phone overnight, I have to scramble around the kids' rooms to try and find it. Okay, so top and bottom, just finger press those, and then the 2 side pieces. I've got quite a sniffy nose this morning, so I'm sorry about that. And you'll have a little bit of overlap, but just make sure you're lining up your seams where the fabrics meet. That's the line you want to go by. So stitch. And then last one, finger press that open. I can hear people again pottering about. Right, last one. And then of course you'll do this with the other pieces you've got left over for the other one. So let's bring this in. So I'm not going to stitch this one together because it's the same technique, but I'll show you what it turns out like. So this one ends up like this. Yeah, like that. But what we'll do is we'll just press this one that we've stitched together. So this is number 3. So it's the disappearing 9 patch, the first way that we did it. And then you've got the corners off. Then you've got this way, which is the third way. Now, of course, you have to trim your edges. You will get overhang with this because of how you've put it together. So if you trim it down by the side edges, you're looking for 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 and 3/4. So trim that off. This will not fit the block that we've done. This will not fit the quilt. This is just another technique. So you'll have to adjust your sizes if you wanted to put this on the quilt that we're making. 3 3/4, yep, other side, 3 3/4. Right, so that's the block. That's the third one. I finally found you 30 minutes in. I'll have to watch again. Oh, Peter, what was Peter saying? I have to spend one of queuing to get into Sainsbury's. What have you said? I can't click on the see more. I'll have to look after. But I hope you managed to get in. Don't they know who you are, Peter? You're very special. We should make you your own card. Right, so that's technique number 3. Technique number 4 is using this exact block. So we're just going to cut into this one. So what we're going to do is we are going to cut in half both ways and turn. So exactly like we did with the original 9 patch. So each one of these centres is 4, so we're cutting it into 2. Top and bottom. Oopsies. Taking this one and turning, taking this one and turning. Unreal. Isn't that unreal? So let's stitch that together. So top and piece 1 and 2, top 2 pieces, right sides together. Like so. And then bottom 2 together. Don't worry if your seams don't match up so much on this one. It's meant to be a little bit crackers looking, so don't panic yourself too much. Okay, open that up, line it up with the other block, top to bottom. The only one I say always line up is your centre, because it just keeps, that's where your eye goes. It doesn't tend to matter if everything else is off. If your centre seam is right, you can just about get away with anything, in my humble opinion. Stitch. And bring in the mat. Press it open. So with these you would definitely steam iron, because you've got a load of seams now, and you definitely would want to steam iron and trim to size. So that is technique number 4. Look at that one. I love that one. Let me turn you up. Hold on. Whee, yep. Hello again. So that's that one. That one's pretty nice, isn't it? Pretty special. Pretty special. And then I can't show the other one because we cut into it. And then you have your corners. Corners again looks much better with multiple colours. And then you've got the one that we're putting on our block, which is that one, a lovely classic 9 patch. Oh, you're so welcome, Maxine. So they are the 4 techniques. I really like the 9 patch. Yeah, you could carry on forever. Just your block's going to get smaller and smaller, but that's fine. yeah, you could carry on. You could cut that again if you want. But the problem is you've now got 4 patches instead of 9 patches. Yeah, it's a really striking block, really simple. I'm just going to go and wipe my nose. I do have a tissue to hand. I don't know where this... it's not really a cold, I don't think. There we are. That's better. Okay. Civilised. Right, so... bingo tonight, 7:30 on my page. Block for tomorrow, block 11, will be released before 6 o'clock on this event. And we'll live tomorrow at 11 o'clock as per usual. I broke the rule at the beginning just to tell you about the pressing mats, and I'll just remind you quickly, I'm doing a post office run today before one, actually I'm going to be doing it after 1 o'clock, they close at 2, but I'm going to be going at 1 o'clock. If you get your order in before 1 o'clock for a 12 by 12 mat, I'm going to send it first class. So if the post in your area is still bang on, you'll get it tomorrow. They are currently at a stupid price, £21.50, avidcrafts.com. So you can get your pressing mat if you haven't got one already. And anyone that's waiting for one, the post office runs today. Jaden is going to have a lesson in business. That's his afternoon lesson, business. So he's helping me pack them, and then I will be taking them down to the post office where they've got all sorts of measures in place, 2 people in the shop at a time and all that stuff. So if you do want a 12 by 12 pressing mat, avidcrafts.com, and they're under, I think they're under tools and accessories, or I've posted a link on my Abeygale page. If you just click the link, it takes you directly to the mat, and they will be leaving me today. I'm only doing, I hope you understand, I'm only doing 1 post office run a week. So today is that day, or it's going to be a week. It will be Friday next week. So I thought I'd let you know, because I am going down there. So if you do want one, I'll just add it on. Thank you, Linda. That's really kind of you. Yes, a bit sniffly. Right, I'm off now to go and make the children lunch. Then we're going to, as I said, have our lesson in business. Pretty sure that's called child labour, but whatevs. We will be keeping sanitised throughout, washing our hands constantly. Also, if you sanitise things when they arrive as well, because of postmen handling things, just give them a wipe down with your Dettol or whatever it is that you've got to hand. Or I think the guidelines were if you left a parcel for 3 days, it automatically loses the germs. So up to you if you can wait 3 days when it arrives. If not, give it a spray over. Thank you so much, Hayley. Thank you. Thanks, Maxine. See you all tonight, 7:30 on my page. I'm going to post a update at 7:15 to A, remind you that it's pub quiz, and B, I want selfies with your drink of choice, or just a picture of your drink of choice, or your cat with your drink of choice, or your dog with your drink of choice, anything. My drink of choice will be a cup of tea and a Diet Coke. So I will post mine. I'd love to see all your pictures too. And if you make the Disappearing 9 patch, please send me a picture. I'm trying to keep the album uploaded. We've got over 100 pictures now. I think it's 105 pictures have gone in there. So I'm really pleased about that. And suggestions for anything you want to do after this is finished. So I've let you know I'm going to be carrying on my 11 o'clock lives for the foreseeable future after doing this, finishing this quilt. So if there's anything you want to do, another quilt with different patches, or do you want to make up a bag, or do you want to make up a wash bag, or whatever it is you want to make up, let me know. And we'll see what we can do going forward. But we're going to keep doing the lives. So keep the community going. Let's see. Looking forward to seeing you tonight. Yeah, me too, Linda. Yours, Maxine, as well. Brilliant. Cool. Okay, lovely to see you all again. Keep your eyes peeled for the next block. It's a good one. And you'll notice this series is the square series. So we had pinwheels. We had No, stars, pinwheels. What was the other one? What's the other one? Stars, pinwheels and squares. This isn't the square series. What's this series? I can't remember what I called it. I'll figure it out. Right. Lost it. See you 7:30 tonight, pub quiz. Bye everyone.